to McFadden Family Homestead. My name is Samantha, and I just thank you for joining us. If you're new here, welcome. We have lots of new subscribers. Our channel is growing very fast, really faster than I expected, and I have you to thank for that. So I really appreciate the time that you take to watch these videos. I really appreciate the comments that have been made. Everybody's been very positive and very encouraging, and I really appreciate that. So today is January 31st, and for our family, the Pantry Challenge officially ends today. For dinner, I am taking my family out to dinner as a thank you for enduring this challenge. On Wednesdays at our favorite sushi restaurant, we can get half-price sushi. So we decided to go ahead and just end our Pantry Challenge today and go and have half-price sushi, because I wanted to thank them and I wanted to do something special for them, and I didn't want them to have to wait until next Wednesday. So we will have dinner out this evening as a celebration. Everybody was pretty well on board for a Pantry Challenge, though I'd be lying if I didn't say that there weren't a few like, I hate Pantry Challenges, you know, whatever. Somebody ran out of their favorite something. So it was a little bit hard. It was a little bit challenging. It was definitely more challenging for me than I expected. Not in terms of creativity or anything like that, but I'm not a super hoarder when it comes to food, but if I pull something from my shelf, then on my shopping list is to pick up a backup. And so not doing that and not having things, right now I have 1 pound of butter in my refrigerator, and there's never less than 6 pounds of butter in my refrigerator at any given time. So to see that was a little bit like, ooh. So it's, you know, mentally it has been a little more challenging than I expected, you know, to just, well, we need milk. Well, I can't get milk for like a week, you know, and it was weird, you know, strange, but I'm really glad that we did it. It absolutely saved us money. It absolutely enabled us to do some things that we would not otherwise have been able to do. And I'm glad that we did it for those reasons. There were curveballs thrown at us along the way. Like, we didn't expect, you know, that week of being home when we were supposed to be in school and at work, and when the weather hit. But we also had fun and we ate really well, and it was, you know, it was really awesome. We really enjoyed ourselves. So there were some things, you know, along the way, definitely some things to take into account for, you know, going into next year. I'm hoping that we could really make some progress this year in terms of how we stock our home with food. I really would like to see us have some bulk beef on hand. I would really like to see us have some bulk pork on hand, and really work towards those goals. To enable to do that, it's not so much the money for the cow, but I have to have another freezer to put it in. Right now, all of my freezers are pretty much full, and if I'm going to buy a large portion of a cow or half a cow, I'm going to have a freezer that's just for that cow, because I know that's going to be quite a bit of meat. I have some things as we go forward, you know, in the video showing you some of the bare shelves on our refrigerators, and that we're just not used to around here. It's kind of a little weird, but I definitely don't regret it. It was really fantastic, and I did place an Azure order to replace a lot of our pantry staple items with organic and stuff, and so we'll be getting that sometime next week. And we were definitely able to do a lot more quickly than we would have been able to do had we just been, you know, eating and shopping and doing our normal thing in the month of January. So that was really totally worth it to me. It kind of gave us a jump start on making these conversions that we want to make. I am totally out of all-purpose flour, which is weird. And I'm out of like almost all dairy. There's there's usually several blocks of cheese in my dairy cheese drawer, and it's empty, and we don't have any cream cheese. Milk is gone. We're down to 6 eggs, even after we bought that big box of eggs. I don't have any ketchup in my house except for some random packets of ketchup that we, will save if we, had gotten fast food or something in the past. We'll keep extra ketchups for I guess just for times such as this, I guess. So these are things that we're not used to being out of around here. And of course, everybody wants me to go to the grocery store like right away and get all the things. But I don't want to do that either. I want to be very thoughtful about how we replenish our goods. And again, we do have that Azure order. When that comes in, we'll do an Azure haul video, and I'll show you the things that I started with in terms of restocking the pantry. Today I will be going to the store this evening after dinner for milk, bread, and cereal. My kids want cereal. So I'll be getting those things so that my daughter can have some things for breakfast in the morning, because really right now there's just nothing that she likes. There's no time to make any homemade bread currently at the moment. And some bread for her to take a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in lunch. She's really done really well for being 9 years old. She's done really well. She's not had, the option of like really taking her lunch for almost a week now. And she does eat at school quite a lot and likes to eat at school. There are those times where she'd just rather pack her lunch. There's not really been much to pack. So she's really been a trooper. She's not been 100% on board, and certainly not without complaint, but she really has been a trooper for what I have asked of this 9-year-old. So I'm really proud of us. I think we did really good, especially for this is the first time we have ever done this, and certainly some takeaways from some really amazing things. We did try some new things. One of the recipes we tried this week I pulled out because of something that had been sitting on my shelf for quite a while, and I wanted to use that, and it involved some things that we had on hand, a couple of things actually that had really been around for a long time, and we loved it. Everybody loved it. It was so good. Homemade tortillas, hands down, was like everybody wants homemade tortillas now. And it's funny because I've been watching some videos from some other YouTube channels that are doing pantry challenges and stuff, and it was like the week of homemade tortillas, apparently week 4, because I saw them on Acre Homestead. I saw them on a new channel that I recently found. I think it's called Megan's Homestead. She made homemade tortillas, and somebody else, Farmhouse on Boone also made homemade tortillas. And she's not necessarily doing the pantry challenge, but it was just like on YouTube, I don't know, it's the week of homemade tortillas. It was so funny. So that was a lot of fun, but those were delicious. We definitely want to have coming up a time where we want to make like big batch homemade tortillas that we can kind of store and freeze, and especially in the naan bread as well. I would love to make a lot of naan bread and freeze that and have that ready to go. That would be awesome. So that's definitely kind of in the works. Coming up, at least in the weeks ahead, we will have I've done some filming for a what's in my pantry kind of video to go through my canning pantry and show you and talk about all the things that I canned in my first year of canning. That's on my list. We're definitely going to have a seed video because it will be time to start our seeds for our garden real soon. And so we're going to sit down and we're going to show you and talk about what our plans are for our garden this year. It is very different from what we did last year. And we'll talk about the reasons behind that. So we'll have a seed video for you, and we're definitely going to do some cooking along the way because that's just a lot of fun, and it's always good inspiration, for people when you watch other people cook. It gives you ideas and it gets you in the kitchen, and that is definitely something I want to not be in short supply on our channel. We definitely want to talk about food, and we want to show you how we eat and hopefully inspire you in your kitchen at home and how you can make scratch-made delicious food for your family. So that's definitely in the plans. and then we'll see how we go from here. Your support and your interest in subscribing to our channel certainly drives me, and I really just thank you for that. I find it really encouraging. It drives and fuels ideas for what could we do on this channel and how we can go forward. And I'm just really excited for the weeks and months ahead, and especially in the coming growing season, what all we're going to get to do together. So I hope you'll stick around and continue to support our channel, like our videos, and leave a comment if you have any questions, and just continue to hang out with us. We're so glad to have you. It's really exciting. We just really appreciate your time. Time is so valuable, and the fact that you take some time and you spend it with us and you're enjoying what you see just means the world to us, and we thank you so much for that. So here's a look at what we did for Pantry Challenge Week 5. We'll see you later, friends. On Sunday this week, we just ate leftovers. We had lots of things that were still in the fridge, so we just kind of pulled those out. We did our best to make those things disappear. And then Tuesday, I made something called broccoli ham hot dish. And a long time ago, before Pinterest was a thing, I used to go to my local library and I would check out cookbooks. And I would go through cookbooks and then I would write down the recipes that I, thought I might try someday. And I created quite a collection doing that, and I did that for several years. And this is one of those recipes. Hot dish, as I've come to learn in recent years, is actually like a Midwestern thing. And this one has, it's a base of rice. We did make jasmine rice. I went ahead and made that in the Instapot. And so I just greased the dish and I laid that out. And then we'll layer this hot dish from here. We're going to make a cheese sauce, and the cheese sauce I really had to adapt from how I normally do things, because at this point I don't have any milk. The only kind of milk I had in the house was almond milk, which I have not made a cheese sauce with almond milk before, so that was new. And then the only cheese that I had was some cheese squares that I had cubed up when we had that party at the beginning of the month when we had guests over and I made cheese and crackers. I still had a little bag of some of that cheese left, and that was the cheese for our sauce. So we were really pulling from the bottom of the barrel here to make this dish, but we did make it work. I had some diced ham. Ham also goes in here, and broccoli goes in here. And the ham I have had in the freezer for a while. It's been vacuum sealed and stuff. Ham just doesn't go over as well with the whole of the family, so it doesn't get made very often, but it is something that we had and something that needs to get used up. And I actually like this recipe a whole lot, so I kind of made this more for me and my husband, if nothing else, because we do really enjoy it. So we're just going to get this cheese sauce going. I have about 4 tablespoons of butter in the sauce pot. I'm going to add about the same amount of flour, and then I just kind of added almond milk. I didn't really measure it out, I don't think. I just kind of went for it to see how it would go. And then I added my cheese, salt, pepper, and that was our cheese sauce. What you saw on the back of the stove there was me adding some melted butter onto some panko breadcrumbs, which is how we'll top off this dish. The broccoli is just a bag of frozen broccoli that you put in the microwave. So just cook that according to the directions. I probably cooked it a bit less than it called for. I salt and peppered the dish. I added the package of diced ham that I had to the sauce, and then I'm pouring everything over top of it and just kind of spreading it out, making sure things are nice and even, and putting the breadcrumb mixture on top to get it ready to go into the oven. So this baked in a 350-degree oven for probably about 25 minutes, I think is what I put in there. Just enough really to get the breadcrumbs, nice and brown, and just make sure that everything is heated through, because the rice did kind of sit there for a minute. And this is the finished plate. And I love this dish. I think it's really comforting. Broccoli and cheese is one of my favorite food combinations. I absolutely loved it. I've loved it since I was a kid. So I just find this dish to be very comforting and delicious. The next recipe that we made on Tuesday is Bang Bang chicken skewers, and we made a linguine dish in the Instapot that has like a peanut sauce. So this right here is the Bang Bang sauce. It's got a mayonnaise base. It calls for Thai sweet chili sauce, but I didn't actually have any of that. I had this garlic sweet chili sauce that I had bought for a recipe that I don't even remember, and it's been sitting on my shelf for probably about a year now, so I pulled that out and used it. We got a little bit of sriracha and some honey going into this sauce, and this was really, really good. It was spicy. It definitely had some heat to it, but it was really delicious, and I think there's a great many uses for this. This would be when my husband was thinking about some tacos, making this chicken in this sauce and having some tacos with that. So that might be something that we try in the future. And here we're going to season the diced chicken. I have this chicken already diced and frozen in the freezer, so I just thawed that out to use that for this. I don't know, it calls for 2 pounds, but I just used whatever I had. So we got a little bit of olive oil going in there. It's going to be seasoned with smoked paprika, garlic powder, kosher salt, and some black pepper. We're just going to toss all of that around, and then we'll get that on skewers. So the next part of this meal is going to be something called sesame peanut noodles. And I got another Instapot cookbook, same author, Jeffrey Eisner. But this is the Simple Comforts step-by-step Instapot cookbook, and I'll link this in the description. And what we're doing right now is we're getting ready to get all the liquids and stuff ready for the pasta that's going to go in. The recipe called for garlic broth, which I do not have, so I did find almost exactly what I needed in terms of broth. I just added an additional cup of water, and I went ahead and I minced up about 3 cloves of garlic to replace the garlic broth. So I'm adding the chicken broth in the water, the garlic, and some soy sauce. And then you break up the noodles and you lay the noodles in a crisscross fashion, and then they cook in the Instapot for, I think it was like 7 minutes or something like that, but it was not long enough. I did end up putting it back in and extending the time because the pasta just wasn't done to my taste. I'm cooking the chicken skewers in the air fryer, so I'm brushing them with I separated most of the Bang Bang sauce for the end, and then just a small, maybe like a cup or so of it, I went ahead and I brushed on it to go into the air fryer. And then this is the peanut sauce that goes on it after the pasta is done. And it's peanut butter, hoisin, honey. It called for grated ginger. I didn't have any of that, so I just used ground ginger. And there were some crushed peanuts, so we went on it later. This is how the pasta looks when it's done cooking in the Instapot. You just kind of take a few minutes and you toss it around and you stir it together. I did have like one clump that I just could not get separated, and I ended up just kind of tossing it. But like I said, at this point it really was not done to my likeness, so I went ahead and I just put it on the same exact settings, and I did it for like 3 more minutes. So I need to make note in my cookbook that I do that the next time. So now it's all done, and I'm just adding the peanut sauce to it, and we're going to toss that around and get all the pasta good and coated. This is really interesting. I've never really eaten anything like this before, but I really enjoyed it. The heat from the Bang Bang chicken, and then the sort of, sweet. It was a little bit, sweet, but it was also really savory. It was just a really interesting flavor combination. But we did really enjoy this. This is something that we'll definitely do again. I don't know if we'll do this same combination of chicken and noodles, but we will definitely make these noodles again. And everybody really liked this dish. We're going to see the end product with our chicken. This is when it just came out of the air fryer, and so when it comes out, you just brush some fresh Bang Bang sauce on it, and then it's ready to serve. And this just went over really, really well. It was so good. Definitely want to use this sauce for more things. And we'll definitely have that again. So this is kind of a peek as to what our cold storage looks like at the end of Pantry Challenge. This right here that you're seeing is actually, it's a refrigerator that we found on like Facebook Marketplace. It's kind of old. We have it out in our garage. Typically it's used as like our leftover fridge. Just because we need more space in our kitchen fridge. So if there's leftovers, we tend to keep it out there, and the butter stays out there. And as you can see, it is very bare. There's my 1 pound of butter, and just about nothing else. This is my upright deep freezer. It stays out in my garage. These 4 baskets were completely full when I started. The top right is where I keep chicken, the top left is beef, bottom left is pork, and the right is just kind of some miscellaneous things. That's where the taco meat, sloppy joes, things like that were. So didn't eat a whole lot, which the pork is mostly, there's the bacon and sausage in there. But you can see like these are definitely running low and need to be restocked. Now a refrigerator here might look like it's got, you know, a fair amount of things in it, but all these containers that you see are leftovers that are not typically in here because this space is being taken up by other things. You can see our sad produce drawers. There's nothing in there. The drawer under it is usually loaded down with cheese and other various things. So we're definitely in low supply on a lot of things here, but we will be all stocked back up in good time, and we're just going to take our time and try to be thoughtful about what we replace things with. Well, that's a wrap on the very first Pantry Challenge with McFadden Family Homestead. Thank you for following along with us in these last 4 or 5 weeks, and I just hope you'll stick around with us and see what else we get into as we approach the growing season and talk about all of our different plans, and we will bring you some delicious food certainly along the way. Thanks so much again for your time.